I love
Episode 28.
I love episodes. They're
go
the
wrong.
best. Episodes are the best. You can't go wrong with episodes.
Good
we
old
do it
wedding
ourselves.
podcast. Yes.
We do it ourselves. Nice segue.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but it's from the last podcast.
Exactly. The podcast. Well, we do those too when we're drunk.
I said podcast.
We do podcasts.
I
Podcast.
think you're the one who had a little bit too much to drink.
No.
How are we doing?
We're as good as last time.
Even better than last time.
Exactly.
Even better than the real thing. No, you too.
Well, it depends what the real thing is.
Come on.
God, not you too.
Not you too. Me too.
Okay, let's hold on a second. Like someone who likes Enrique.
Okay.
Enrique and
cannot
what's his name?
say anything about you two.
I think
Fine.
Enrique has pretty good songs.
He
I
does.
think
He does.
That's-
Yeah, he's only missing the voice part.
When we're doing a wedding together, like I told you, I'm gonna have a whole playlist
Yeah.
of his greatest hits.
Yeah.
I will do it. I will. You know I will. Just.
And you know what's funny is I will gladly play them, changing
Great.
all the words.
Oh God.
And I'll dedicate it straight to whoever asked for it. Remember, I have the microphone.
Oh boy.
So, guys, I'm excited about this one. This one's going to be fun.
dangerous in life.
What?
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 This one's going to be fun.
It will.
I think this is the topic that nobody ever wants to talk
No,
about.
I agree.
But we
they
like to
do.
guess.
But everybody wants to know.
They want, and I've been asked many times too.
I know. That's why I was
One
like,
too many,
do you know how many
like-
times? Hey, how much? What do you think? How much is it for this? Right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
tell us this topic. I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
Val,
so
tell us what it is.
How much to put in the envelope?
Oh, that's the.
That's
don't
the
talk
question.
about it, but talk about
That's
it.
$1 million question.
So when a couple the couple, they always say, well, how much do you think? They always say, what do you think people will put in the envelope? You know, I always get asked that because they're like trying to do the math, you know, which makes sense. So I always tell them, the guests, you can't force them to put money, how much money,
We're Italian, of course.
you know,
Get it.
but not only that, but you know, people look at how much the food is roughly, but no one really knows the price, you know. So I had a few guests actually at past few weddings. They called me. Yeah, they did call me. It happened
Must have been
twice.
Italian.
They weren't even Italian, but they called me. They're like, hey, we're so and so the guests of the wedding, and they're like, what's the price per head? And I'm like, why do you want to know?
Because you want to know how much to put.
I knew why, but I want to know what they would say, right? They think
Hey, you're so bad.
I
would
had
actually.
nothing better to do that day, okay? So trust me. So I'm like, ballpark on the menu they chose with the open bar, you're looking at, I think it was like 180, like 2 years ago, roughly, you know? So they're like, oh, okay, you know, and I'm like, I hope that guides you and everyone else you're going to tell. Hopefully it guides everyone, you know? But again, and I always tell the couple, it's a gift. I get you want to do the math, how much you're going to expect, but you can't predict what to put, you know, times, money, you know, there's no formula to calculate. Like, because remember too, most people, right, give to cover their plate.
Yeah.
At least.
Traditionally, that's what it is.
But then every culturally, there's so many other cultures out there that have different rules. Some might give gold. You know, I had a wedding, they gave gold, you know, instead of money.
We're talking bars or we're talking little pebbles?
Jewelry, like gold jewelry.
Okay. Like they're bullions. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I want to go to that
Some
wedding.
gave, I know, items on the registry. They gave items that the couple asked on their wedding registry.
Well, if you put a registry, then
and
I mean.
that's the thing too. So you have to look at the bigger
common
scope,
sense,
you know. But typically, I'd want to say, I always tell the couples, look, they're giving to cover the plate and a gift, maybe, but it depends how many people are coming.
Yeah.
So one, is it the couple? Is it the kids coming? Like, how many? Are they close relatives? Are they close family? It all is so big. Like, you can't start to narrow it down, saying, well, if this person's coming, they're gonna give this much. You can't predict, you know. So I always tell the couple, whatever they give, and that's the best.
Balance is on you.
Yeah, so
basically.
you can't predict these things. And
What would be an average? I don't want to say plate, but what would be an average envelope per person?
I want to say more like per family, because some do it per family they give, and some do it per person. It depends.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so let's say per family, it depends. I want to say like 500 maybe sometimes. The
Yeah.
2 to 500 depending.
Yeah.
You know, some they all put it in one. They all put in one envelope saying from the so and so family, like a whole bunch. If you're single or like just like a couple, there's two of you. They usually put it together, so you're looking maybe at 200.
Yeah.
You know, and it depends how close you are too. If you're more close, you give more.
Yeah.
But if you're not as close, then you give a bit less. You know.
Yeah.
But again, it depends. Again, you don't know the price, but I want to say even 2 to 500 and up. It depends how close you are.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so you can't. That's the ballpark. You know. But again, everyone's different, right? You can't predict certain things. And then another thing the couples always ask me when it comes to envelopes is how much should we give I remember we talked like the tip for each vendor. That's another one
that's
too.
another one. Yeah.
You know, but I'm just saying in that ballpark. You know, they
Yeah.
always ask me that too. But when
Yeah.
it comes to your guests, that's the going rate nowadays. And you have to see. Well, also they also look at the venue too. Like some I know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you
well, you
know,
kind of have
like,
to.
It's part of the
You ha-
package.
yeah,
I would
you
say.
look at the venue. You look at what the what are your choices to eat that
Let's
night.
see now. There's
Well,
somebody
for
here.
example, if you're having creamy risotto with butternut squash and pesto,
But you won't know what you're eating most of the time.
Well, no, this menu they actually put it on the table,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
that's when you get there.
no. But the menu when you're selecting the food for your menu choice, when you RSVP, you pick your main menu.
Oh, but
Yeah,
not all the
because some
time.
are gluten, some are gluten,
Not
some are nuts,
but some
whatever.
some couples when the RSVP,
Yeah.
we did that. You know, I tell my couples because remember the venue needs to know ahead of time, depending, right?
Yeah.
So you see what you're picking. So if you see like great like Chipotle steak and this, okay, it's a bit more than that, you know. So you
Yeah.
start to gauge that, you know.
Tomahawk, man, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. So some, you
Well,
know,
there's one here that's really nice.
yeah,
So this one says appetizer. You have bundle of brie,
yeah,
thin tomato tart, smoked salmon salad.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Seared Mediterranean sea bass fillet.
Yeah.
Chicken breast and wing.
Yep, they had the option, yeah.
Beef strip loin, mushroom risotto. That's
Yeah.
your entree.
yeah. They had the choice. Yep, I remember.
And
that.
then it's dessert.
yeah,
I don't know. I came up with a formula
Oh, you did?
myself. I
Okay.
kind of have my own because
Okay.
you know there's a lot of things that go with it.
yes, of course. Let's hear
Like
it.
you know, just because someone decides to pick, you know, you when I'm getting married, I want to do something that I want to do.
Of course.
And I don't
100%,
expect them to pay. If
That's
I
the
want to
thing,
be
yeah.
fucking wild and have 3 bands because I love music, I don't expect you to have to pay
It's
for
true,
that.
yeah.
You know, if
Yeah,
I
that's
want to
very
pick
true, yeah.
a mountaintop in fucking Kenya, you know, I don't
Yeah,
expect
mountaintops in Kenya?
but just to say, I don't
I'd say
expect
Tibet.
you to pay for that.
Yeah.
If I want to go to
It's
Chateau
true.
Laurier in Quebec, you know, you're
Yeah.
gonna spend $350 a plate, $400 a plate
yeah,
more.
It depends.
So it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
mean
for
that the
sure.
guest, you know, I'm inviting
Big
you
king
not
lion,
because
yeah.
you know, so
That's true.
so and it's important. So you know, if I'm invited, I think nowadays the average of a plate is more or less around 200
Yeah.
to 250.
yeah, and
This-
it goes up if you want to add this, add that,
sure,
add.
sure.
add another
you can
thing.
easily
Another
Yeah.
course.
you can
yeah, yeah.
easily spend $500.
Oh yeah.
But I think I think more or less between 200 and 250 a person.
Yes.
No matter where it is. So if it's a Cabana Suc and they paid $50, well, good, they get a better gift
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's somewhere else, well,
It is what it
it is what it is. I
what
think
it
it's
is,
I
yeah.
think it's a fair price
Yeah.
Yeah.
to include a gift and a meal. And if they decided to choose more, well,
That's on the
it's
couple.
on
That's
them.
it.
It's
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
them.
It's
you
on
know?
the couple.
Yeah.
And you're right. I do agree. Like, if the couple loves bands, they want 3 different bands for 3 different parts of the wedding.
Yeah, whatever.
It's
It's
on
their
them.
thing. Let them have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
You know, and if the guest attends, you give what you can. Give the
Yeah.
going indirect, the going rate, so to speak.
Yeah.
And if you're nosy enough, you could Google what the menu is. You know, like you could go on the website if you're the guest, see what the price is if you want to be more accurate. But, you know,
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
know, like
but-
I could have Dom Perignon for everybody,
it's true.
but if I'm expecting everyone to put that in their
full
envelope,
stuff,
it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, why would I? No,
Yeah,
if I
exactly,
have to
yeah.
be able to pay for it.
It's
Yeah,
your choice.
exactly.
If you
It's
want
my choice, right?
expensive
That's a personal
alcohol, that's a personal choice. Everyone, again, has personal choice, you know, and everything is their thing. But the thing is, like you said, they shouldn't pay for
Well,
yeah,
right?
what you want.
Yeah, it's like you know, if I want to have shots of whatever Dom Perignon,
Yeah.
I mean, shit,
That's on you.
That's on
That's
you.
on me.
Enjoy
It's
your Dom
it's
Perignon.
a-
Enjoy it in the corner.
you know, and also if you do get a toaster, well, be thankful with
Yeah,
the toaster.
I was
Better be a
gonna
nice
say,
toaster, though.
Exactly
Yeah.
that, you
Yeah.
know?
You know.
You can't, you know,
I mean, look, it's always great when you get more, right?
Yeah.
As a couple, because it's like, oh my God, you know, they always think paying off the venue.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's
It's like,
the-
are we going to
that's-
be
yeah.
able to break even,
Yeah,
or
I
maybe
agree.
even have a bit extra?
Yep, 100%.
And I think everybody, it crosses everybody's
it
mind.
for sure,
You know,
it does,
like-
100%.
Yeah.
It crosses everyone's mind at one point. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why the bags are not a box. It's like this, because you're expecting
Yeah.
for
You know,
it to be filled.
The
you know?
old school Italians, I probably still do it
Cash.
today. No, but besides that, the funny part is that they used to. I remember every envelope you open, you mark down who gave
yeah.
what,
Your book,
and when
yeah.
it's your turn to go to the wedding,
Yeah.
they'll
And
look at
more
the book.
just- yeah.
And
Ah,
a lot of traditions do that too. Everyone has a little notepad or a little something somewhere, and they,
Yeah.
you know. And I even seen more and more couples now, instead of wanting like gifts, they say, "Hey, online, we want to go to a honeymoon here. Put the money towards, let's say, a honeymoon fund."
Sure.
And now, where you do that is these online, like Zola or the Not Wedding Wire. You have your page, you do everything there, and then it says to, instead of monetary gift, can you contribute to our honeymoon?
That's a good idea,
fund.
actually.
Well, shit. If you got married at a nice venue, and you're paying $250 a
I'm
plate and it's
just-
200 people.
I'm just saying
Ouch.
that some couples do that too. Instead of
Yeah.
having monetary gifts, they're like, we want to go here.
Well, I would think that would be more feasible for a smaller wedding.
Yeah,
If
it
you're 50
depends.
people,
Yeah. That's what I'm
put
saying.
it into the
Do
honeymoon.
it,
You know what I mean? It's like
you have to see how many people. Like if
Exactly.
you're more intimate, okay.
yeah,
If you're-
500
yeah,
people. If it's my
forget it,
honeymoon,
yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You have to know what type of wedding you're
Yeah.
having. But I'm just saying, I've seen that more and more. Like, oh, to our honeymoon
It
fund.
would be great. I had an idea. This would be
Yeah.
really wild.
Uh-oh.
You divide your hall.
Okay.
So you have half to the honeymoon, half gives you the boost. That's so you get to the best
Yeah.
of both worlds.
It's like, okay, you have to
You part the
responsible.
C's. The red section is the honeymoon. That's why you're red. The blue, give it while you got it.
Yeah.
Get it
And
all.
another thing too, some people even donate their money to like a charitable, like a foundation.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like
That's
a
true.
lot say, you know what, we don't want, we're gonna give all the money or X amount going to this charity, which is nice
nice
too.
It's nice.
You
Yeah,
know,
I've seen that
it's
as
a
but instead of party favors,
That's
Yeah.
nice.
they say
It's true, yeah.
we donated it on your
we're gonna
behalf.
donate,
Yeah, it's
which
nice.
is nice
Which
too.
is
So
pretty nice, yeah.
again, you have to know your crowd, know who you're inviting.
Yeah.
You know, if it's an intimate wedding of 20 people, okay, honeymoon could be fine. They
Yeah.
know they put it already. They take care of it. You know, they do it before the wedding. You
Yeah.
know, but if you're inviting 500 people,
You want
it
them.
might-
You want
yeah.
that boost, I
it
think.
might not go over well. You know.
Yeah.
So it all depends on that, you know, what the couple wants. Do they want it? Don't they? You know, it's so many little things when it comes down to it. That's how I see it. Too many things to calculate, but give what you can, you know, whatever.
Well,
remember.
it gets pricey
Yeah,
if you're a
it does.
family of 4 and you're putting
Yeah,
into, you know,
100%,
you're
yeah.
$1,000
$1,000.
just
Yeah.
to show up at a
Yeah,
wedding, and
it's
it's okay.
true.
But if you have 4 in a year,
Yeah.
like what just happened?
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
$4,000.
Yeah.
Right? But
It's
you know,
That's a trip.
Yeah.
There's your trip.
Yeah. And even now, I read somewhere that destination weddings are even more because you have to pay for your plane, the flight. So let's say if someone's getting married, let's say, I don't know, on the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that person that says I'm going has to book the flight for themselves and let's say the family on top of the hotel, right? Because remember, if you're going to a destination wedding on a go, you have to book the plane, the hotel, and the gift sometimes might be less because you're already paying a lot for the flight.
that's
you
that's
know?
if you go,
So
because
that's
again,
if you go,
if
yeah.
someone decides, because you're also missing work, right?
Yep.
You don't decide if your vacation. You don't
It's
decide.
true,
So
yeah. So,
so
that's
it's like-
another thing too to keep in mind if you're going to a wedding abroad.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind too, right? When it comes to the gift, like saying, "Well, I'm already paying my flight, my hotel. I have to take these off work. I can't make it up." You know, so it depends too, right?
And
Yeah.
it,
Like,
does,
it's a
it doesn't
hot
mean you're
topic
gonna.
too,
Doesn't
yeah.
mean they're gonna be there.
Exactly.
Like for me, it's if I decided I wanted to do a destination wedding, I would just have the conversation before I book it. I would
Yeah.
have the conversation with my
Everybody.
close
Everyone,
family.
yeah,
Not everyone.
100%, yeah.
No,
'cause
no, but I mean close family.
I'm
That's
not.
what you
Yeah.
would want there.
Like
Yeah.
whoever I'd want there. I'm not talking like aunts and uncles. I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
my
exactly.
brother, sister, and
Immediate,
parents.
it's very close.
And my
very
one or
close,
two
yeah.
best friends, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
if I do this, would you be able to come? You know, like, and I would pay for it because
Yeah.
to me, being a friend is not expecting someone else to
True.
Well, it's your
go out of their
choice.
way.
It's your
For me,
choice.
Well,
it's-
you want to go and get
Yeah.
married in
Yeah.
the Himalayas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in Montreal, Greater Montreal, and around Quebec, not not a destination.
Well, it is nice here.
It is
too,
beautiful,
It
but
is stunning,
don't
yeah.
you can't expect 50 friends to come.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
Just I'm getting this is getting great. I love this chair.
He's ready.
Yeah.
He's so comfortable.
Sorry,
Look
this
at
is
him.
good. I love it.
He's the booster collector.
Yeah, I wish.
Put it in the bag.
I wish 20%.
Oh
Okay,
God.
shit. But I know in the end, I mean, I remember when my aunt, especially when she got married, I used a junior bridesmaid.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't say when, but it was in the 80s anyways. So I remember we were standing all in a line, and you
Okay.
see you had the box behind them.
Ah,
And as everybody
yeah.
was coming, they would stop at the bride, because obviously you
Yeah.
stop at the woman.
Yeah.
You give her the money.
Yeah.
And so she was just turning and
Yeah.
inserting and making a deposit into the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
After a while, you saw the envelopes coming out of the
At
the
one
mouth
point,
of the box.
you have to empty it out and
My grandfather did that for her.
yeah.
Yeah, he took the box, emptied it into
Yeah.
a bag that was under the table.
Yeah, of course, you have
and he
to
was
be
standing
ready.
there, like in the front.
You have
know?
to be ready because
And then they always say, "Watch the bag."
yeah.
Watch the bag. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that was.
Oh
funny.
yeah, they
Yeah.
used to. I've seen where they hire security.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
they'd
that
say,
me too,
"Watch
yeah.
the
It's
It's
bag."
been stolen.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
definitely been
Many
stolen.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard stories.
Oh, yeah.
And some venues require security.
Yeah.
Like more and more
absolutely.
saying if you're gonna and even if you're not, they always hire. More and more venues I find are forcing that you hire security.
Well, think of it this way: you're
Yeah.
so absorbed into everything
don't
that's
have
going
time
on,
to
you don't have
start-
time to man
You don't.
your bag.
You don't. So that's you have security.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to leave it with your
And
Nonna Marie.
security,
You're
yeah.
gonna,
Security. I worked venues that had security. It was fine. We chilled. I was chilling with
Yeah,
security all
exactly.
the time.
What do you do with older folks? Because this is that's the problem. Because older folks, I mean,
Oh.
they don't keep up with the times.
Mm.
So they like when you mention, hey, they probably paid. I remember I went to Toronto. I had a wedding in Toronto.
Okay,
So it was a cousin of mine. So I didn't go with and it was the top hotel in Toronto.
of course.
So I put more. I know I said I go with my rule of 250.
His rule.
I put more because he's close to me. And
Yeah.
So I and I knew it was the top hotels. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go. I didn't feel pressured to. I wanted to.
Okay. So okay. Yeah.
But when I
This is
told
fair.
my dad, I remember telling my dad, he probably paid about $350,
Oh, easy. Yeah.
and he looked at me. He's gotta be fucking crazy. His answer, and I was like, but those are the prices. Like,
Yeah. Nowadays.
Yeah, I
times
guess
have
so.
if you're gonna
changed,
go
yeah.
to a little reception hall, in the East End of Montreal or West End, and it's just a reception hall, it's $250. So
Yeah.
if you're going to a top end hotel,
Yeah.
the service is
Yeah.
much better,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you're downtown. Like
100%, yeah.
you're gonna pay. But
For sure.
how do you approach that?
I'd say, at this point, everyone's different. So it depends. I guess it depends on a lot of different things. You could tell them saying, hey, the going price is this now. But
Do you
I
tell
don't know. I
them?
would be embarrassed. I
it
wouldn't be able to.
depends. It depends how close you are with them. It depends on a lot of stuff, like their old school mentality,
It's crazy.
So it's
Yeah.
best to maybe just keep, let them just do their thing and then.
Well,
you
that's
know.
it. My cousin got married in Niagara on the Lake.
Yeah, you're telling it.
So
yeah.
we were coming all the way from Montreal, driving
Yeah.
to my aunt and uncle in Mississauga at the time.
Yeah.
And then headed straight out to Niagara on the Lake, and
Yeah.
we stayed there. Right? Because
yeah.
between Mississauga and Niagara on the Lake, it was like a few hours.
It's
Yeah.
like,
It was
3 hours.
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
So we stayed there overnight. So factor it in. We were there for
Yeah.
the night before the wedding. They had the dinner there.
Yeah,
the dinner.
the reception. Yeah,
Their
the
reception dinner, and then we stayed overnight, and then they had the wedding there.
Okay.
So we were there for like, okay,
days,
it was
yeah.
so it was a figure on Niagara on the Lake. That we were just like, I think that weekend.
Yeah.
Plus you're giving the envelope.
Yeah.
Right.
It's true.
Plus you have the outfits.
Yep, your
Plus you have your
outfits, yeah.
shoes. Plus you know what I mean.
Yeah, you have to- yeah,
You
of
have to
course.
get
I'm
ready.
gonna drink like a motherfucker. This is gonna be worth it.
That's
Better
it. But
be
you're
worth
staying at
it,
the hotel,
yeah.
right? You're not
Yeah.
driving. You're like, okay,
No, and that factors into how much sometimes people give if they have to travel far, or even I heard online if you're into wedding partying too. Sometimes you sometimes give a bit less because
Yeah.
you're already paying for your dress, or
as a bridesmaid
Yeah.
or as a maid of honor,
Yeah.
you're giving a gift to the bride.
yeah, exactly that
Right?
on
On
top
top
of paying
whatever,
for
yeah.
and sometimes too, you read things online, they're like, oh, well, I already paid for the bachelorette weekend, now this, now that, now this.
Shower.
Yeah, the shower, you have to throw the shower, yeah.
Shower, you have to host the shower for them because, so that's food.
Yeah.
That's time, right? And then you have the bachelorette. So
if you do
you're
that,
paying for the dinner.
You're
paying for the well, it depends on where you are.
Entertainment, okay.
It could be indoor entertainment, but still they cost.
Everything costs. So no matter what you get. So sometimes you always see this online, oh, I paid, I was a maid of honor. I paid like $4,000 for the wedding because I had to host this, pay that, pay this.
Oh, of course.
Pay my dress, pay that, pay whatever. So and then a gift on top of it for
them.
So there's so much that goes in for, let's say, if you're in a wedding party, let's say, there's an additional cost that people are not like, you might not think because it's like, well, I have to pay for my dress. Okay, my shoes, my hair, my makeup, my manicure, my pedicure, if you're going to do that, you have to pay for it. Then the shower, you might give a gift, right?
Yeah.
If something, bachelorette, you're paying for something, right? You have to
you're
pay,
probably, you're paying
you're
out
contributing
of your pocket, for
to
sure.
some point, for something, right? So at the end of the day, plus a gift for the wedding,
It adds up. But don't forget, when you're the bride or the groom, you have to gift to your party.
Yes.
So that too, and they're not cheap.
Yeah, so it goes both
ways.
But remember too, if the bride and the groom want to give something, sometimes you give something big, small, depends on.
I'd say maid of honor gets a little different.
Yeah, the maid of honor gets,
And then
a
the
little
bridal
different,
party.
100, like the maid of honor could get something, because usually the maid of honor knows the bride the best. That's why you're there.
Exactly.
So it could be maybe a trip. Like I remember right online, they gifted a girls' trip away, like a few months after the wedding, just the bride. They both went on a girls' getaway. Because they were close, and some give like makeup, a handbag, like something.
Oh no, I didn't.
Big,
I bought like Swarovski. Like it was a
or
nice
jewelry
Swarovski piece
or
of jewelry.
necklace. It all depends on what. Right? So it goes both ways. You're contributing, they're going to give you a gift, and it's always, like I said, it's not talked about a lot, but it does go like that,
Of course. But it's understood. It's like an unspoken rule.
That's what I'm going to say. It's unspoken that, I'll get you this, I'm paying for that, but at the end, I'm going to get a gift from you, and back and forth.
Hey, does the bride and groom give a gift to each other?
It depends. I didn't. I don't think I did.
I think it's at the engagement you give a gift.
I didn't. I didn't do that.
No, there's a day before the wedding. It's the day before the wedding. The rehearsal dinner.
I didn't have we had a small thing just as close as a restaurant.
I mean, you're moving in together.
Yeah,
right?
that's who you're.
So
it's a big thing. Yeah.
Is it a gift if I get you a TV stand? Like.
You know what I got, Kevin? I remember.
Okay, practicality. You're getting the gift for the person.
You know what I got him? I didn't tell him. I wanted to surprise him. It was very.
Don't say it. You're being taped.
But Kevin,
okay.
This was for a wedding.
Oh, okay, for the wedding.
I
thought you got him something.
It's gonna be a year. It's gonna be a year, May 26th. That we're married a year.
Oh shit!
Shoot.
Yeah, already. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, year
Congrats.
already. Yeah.
It's already a year.
We should do a party, a podcast party.
I think we should have a do-it-yourself event. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I did, Kevin, is he loves candy, so I bought him Swedish fish.
Oh, those are so good. The blue ones?
The multicolor,
they're so good.
all of them. And I found these Swedish
meat berries
fish socks. So they're socks with Swedish fish on them because he likes candy. So
socks and fish?
No, so the fish
eat the socks.
No, the fish and the socks had the print of the Swedish fish on it because to match the Swedish fish candy and that. So I gave it to him on the wedding day. So socks.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he didn't expect it, so I kind of surprised him.
Sorry, it was so exciting. It just fell out.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, I like to surprise him like that. So yeah,
that was funny.
That's cheese.
Come on, it's a dad joke.
It's a bad joke.
That's what I did for him because we're already planning the wedding together and everything. So I'm like,
And we're planning the wedding. Everything is mine. So I'm going to give you the fish because it's all my ideas. And you better show up.
Show up.
You want to laugh? I know a guy, actually, he passed away, but this was many years ago. He married a Francophone, okay?
Okay.
Now, in the Francophone tradition, I don't even want to say just Francophone. So weddings now, it's kind of understood, the envelope.
Yeah.
But back 20 years ago, like, the Italian culture gave money.
Okay.
But Canadians or other cultures, they just give a gift, a toaster, and it still goes on today. Like you know, so
course.
not everyone is up to speed on that, and it's
True.
you know, so and the francophone, his wife to be was francophone, and their tradition is literally like a toaster. It's
Yeah.
you know, you invite me to a
Oh, you
wedding, I
always
come,
eat.
I eat, and that's it. You know, I'll
Yeah.
give you $20 and that's it. Like it's not, and you don't blame them, but
Of
he
course.
literally put on the invitation the price.
Oh no,
Yeah,
my
he put-
daughter's boss did that.
Back then, he put $100 on, you know, prix d'entrée, $100. Yeah,
But
on
That's
the,
a little bit
But I actually see more and more couples doing that too.
because they don't want a toaster.
well, no, it's because you know they're expecting a
Yeah.
little something, and,
Yeah.
and
Well, they want to break even.
they don't want to.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay 20 grand
Yeah.
out of their pocket. Then I would say, just don't do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't
yeah.
go to a park and
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
nice
Have a
wedding at
picnic.
park.
Yeah. Everyone's different.
the Coleman
They do-
out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you have to. I mean, you can't expect that
Yeah.
they're going to be giving
It's
you.
true.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's sort of an unspoken, yeah,
It
I
is
want your
unspoken,
money
yeah.
type thing, but you can't really say it. Like my daughter, her boss's daughter, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or son, whoever, was getting married, and
Okay.
on the invite they put $350,
Oh yeah.
and it's as a guest,
Yeah.
you feel obligated, and
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling
But
of
to me, it's
obligation.
insulting. I'm insulted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course
I
I'm
was gonna-
insulted.
yeah.
That's part of the obligation. It's like you're obliging me.
Yeah.
You invited me.
True.
I'm attending because of an invitation. Now you're expecting me
Yeah.
to pay this per person.
But then, because I remember reading articles that some people want a price on there. It depends. It goes both ways. I don't know. That's where I'm like.
So what happens
Yeah.
if you pay under the price
Oh.
that's indicated?
Ah.
Are you insulting
that
them?
too, It go.
It goes both ways.
You got a good
Yeah,
point.
and in the
yeah.
car, you
Right?
just draw a picture of your middle finger.
No, you take a photocopy of your ass and just put it in the envelope. Be like,
It's unfortunately, it's gotten out of hand. Like,
Yeah.
everything's out of hand.
Things
It
went
is
up.
what it is.
Weddings
but-
were always, to begin with, super expensive
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
start off with. But now with the prices, the cost, even flowers are going up in price. So just imagine all your decorations, even if you DIY, it goes up.
It's
Everything.
expensive. Everything's
Everything.
expensive. Yeah.
When you say wedding, it's a huge markup. That's just
Yeah.
the reality of.
how is the reaction of today when you get a wedding invite, let's say from a friend, you're like, shit. Right?
Well, the
It's
sad part is it's in a 10-year span.
Yeah.
Like within 10 years, because that's your age group. You're in that
Yep,
age group.
It's true.
And sometimes it's
Yeah.
even within 5 years, like 100 of your friends
Yeah,
get married.
It's very
And they're
true.
kids.
So-
they're kids too.
Right?
It's true. You have to consider
The cousins,
Yeah,
the this, and then you're sitting there and you're going,
yeah,
oh.
it's true. It's that age. In
Yeah.
that age.
My
Group
I had a
span,
rehearsal yesterday, and
Ah.
my bass player is 30, and he just got married in August.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And his the drummer that we had playing yesterday got married a year ago,
Oh, there
and
you
two
go.
of their friends are getting married.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the conversation yesterday was, "Are you going to Mike's wedding?"
Oh my god.
Well, I wanted to, but they said no kids all of a sudden. So now I don't know what to do. What am I going to do with
there
my
we-
daughter? Like now I have to
Ah.
drive and go back, and I have to breastfeed, and what am I going to, I don't know. I might not go to the wedding. It's like, yeah, I don't know. And this whole conversation was,
Yeah.
now it's super popular. No kids. They don't want, yeah.
That's
He's
the
like,
thing too.
and
yeah.
this guy has a little girl at home, and the guy who's getting married, I don't know their name, but
The friend.
the friend is saying like, yeah, we just don't want to see like,
Damn, how
bunch
do
of
you-
kids running around.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
so beautiful.
it's just,
though.
and then
It's a family. It's a happy, joyous.
and he answered back saying like, hey man, we all did it. Like,
Just suck it up.
they'll run around for a couple hours and then they'll fall asleep on a
Yeah.
chair in the corner. He's like,
You
yeah, we
only
kind of
just-
don't want to see that either. We don't want to see kids sleeping on
Okay,
chairs.
but dude, you were a kid at
Yeah.
a
That's
wedding
because
once.
that's because they have no kids. Okay, I'm sorry.
Of course
Sometimes
they
when
are.
you don't have any kids, you don't understand the concept
Or if you don't have a
of-
big family with kids, you're not used to being around kids.
But what's
Yeah.
so
no?
bad to see kids running around?
I love it. It's,
a ha-
youth. It's
at-
innocence.
At my wedding, at my wedding, we had my cousin's kids.
Yeah.
They were angels, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And even if they're not,
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? It's a fun,
cares?
happy.
Unless
let
they,
them-
unless they, I don't know, shoot people. Like what?
But-
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
unless they
unless they
grab-
start throwing glasses and breaking
but
stuff.
again, the parents are there. They're watching them.
Right.
It's a social setting. It's not like you're wild, wild west here.
I
Yeah.
would feel so bad making my friend or anybody I care
Yeah.
about go crazy to find a nanny, bring here, go
or
there, go
babysitter,
No.
or
Like-
have a family member leave the wedding with them to leave, and
right.
you know, yeah.
For me, my the whole point about being friends and family is you want to make life easier for
Yeah,
them. Whatever I
I
could do
agree,
to
yeah.
make your life easier, I would like it. Not
Yeah.
harder. I
No,
won't want to be the guy who's
100%,
making it
yeah.
harder.
No.
But anyway.
No, I agree. Everyone's different, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, kids or no, it's your choice. And sometimes, it depends, right? You can't,
Yeah. They have a vision.
Wow.
Sometimes they have a vision, and it's
Yeah.
like they can't envision kids running around there, and it's like you won't. First of all, you won't even notice.
you'll be so
You're
busy.
so
yeah.
busy, you won't notice a child
It's
running
true.
around and not like what's.
But one day they're going to be in those shoes.
Yeah,
And
it's
then when
true.
they get that
I was
invite,
going to say, they're like,
when they get
yeah.
that invite, they'll be, oh, but I can't believe it. No, wait
Yeah.
a second. I'm sorry. Let's go back, shall we, in the
Yeah,
photos?
years ago.
And
I would send the invitation. I'm having kids, but just not yours, because
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
broke my
your
balls.
kids.
I'm
Where
gonna break
was it?
yours.
Yeah.
Just
Where
your
was
kids.
it that we saw it? The way they worded it. Where's that freaking envelope?
Which one?
This one.
Oh.
The
just
way they
don't-
worded. I'm not saying it.
Don't.
Just keep,
These motherfuckers. No, I'm kidding. To each his or her own, of course. But the way, can I say it? You know what? I'm going to say it in
in English. Translate it.
Yes. My translation's a bit rusty. So,
Paraphrase.
so for the respect of the celebrant. Oh wait, no, wrong. Told you it was a little bit rusty. It was a little bit quacked. Okay. Oh, we apologize for the short
Inconvenience.
or the inconvenience. Thank you. The invitation is reserved only for adults. That's how it's written.
Basically.
Yeah.
To put it nicely.
It happened to me
And
once.
there's another one. Please, the tables are already fixed. Please respect the number of your table assigned to you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
something.
it's happened to me twice. And the first
don't
time I was
listen to that.
I was on the honor table, and I just had my son, and so like my wife left early because
Yeah,
she
yeah,
had
no
to go
choice,
home, and
yeah.
that was it.
100%.
I got drunk anyways, but still, just to
Yeah,
say.
but she had to leave, and it was.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
then the other wedding, I literally called the couple and I
Yeah.
said, I was coming to your wedding, but I have
think, yeah, you
nothing
told
for
us,
my
yeah.
kids. So, and they said, oh no, you can bring them now.
But it's not.
No,
It's not. Yeah, you don't want to start.
And you don't
going
want to
back
start
and forth.
creating
Yeah.
issues either, but still, there's
It
a
goes-
certain.
It goes both ways. Look, if you say no kids, stick with it. Don't make any exceptions. But
Yeah.
if you say kids, go with it. Don't change your mind halfway.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you're gonna bring your kids, you're gonna get an extra boost.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say.
it.
They're gonna
You
pay
tell
for
them.
it, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
True.
And they even leave the food. Like, I think that's the most. That's why they don't want the kids there, also because they're
I
paying
know.
the plate.
It's hard. So, it's hard as a parent. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like when I went to Toronto,
Yeah.
and I loved the wedding. It was beautiful. I loved the food.
For
it was
sure.
great. But my kids, I have 2 kids, and that whole she frou. I love the sea bass. My
Yeah.
Yeah, but
kids looked at that and said, "What the
kid-
hell is that?"
What are you eating?
The kids aren't gonna eat sea bass. They're gonna have the little nuggets or burger and
Yeah.
fries.
But I paid
Yeah.
they had the regular meal, and I paid full top
yeah.
dollar, and they didn't touch a quarter of it.
course.
They picked at it and they're like, no.
They waited
I
for
see
the
an
sweet
eyeball.
table and had those little sliders. They had about 100 of those
Oh, I
sliders.
believe you.
But,
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Val, do we have a song that goes with this?
I want to say the song that I said last time.
Hungry eyes.
No, it's by this I think singer Benson Boone.
Yeah?
Beautiful Things, I think.
Beautiful Things.
Yeah, it's a known.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
song. I like it. It's
Nice.
cute. It's more fast paced, but it's
Okay.
very nice.
cute.
Sweet. And with this, la
Yes.
busta. We
Yes.
call in Italian, it's called la busta. It's a fun thing. It's the envelope. It's the envelope. Do we have a thought of the week?
I want to say, well, I always say, but just go with your gut when it comes to putting money in the envelope. It'll guide you in the right direction.
Money will guide you.
Lisa,
I think so, yeah.
your thought of the
I
thought.
think that's the best I could put it.
I just go back. For the envelope, if it's somebody who is a family member that went to somebody in the family, I sort of go with that same
Yeah.
tradition
Yeah.
of dollar for dollar and whatnot. Now, take into consideration modern times,
Yes, times
right?
have
And times have
changed. Yeah,
changed.
100%.
Yes, I'm going to put in that extra because that's what
you
it
know
is.
the reality of.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to insult either.
course,
So, and it's
100%.
always family. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
in all
agree.
fairness, it's to meet with whatever
The times,
was
yeah.
and then to the current
To
times.
adjust where
Yeah.
needed. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. What's my thought of the thought of the thought? Well,
I
I
don't
would
know,
say,
yeah.
go big or go home, bitches. No.
No, you would say, is there an open bar?
Yeah, no, that's I'm expecting that. I'm
Anywhere.
expecting that. Yeah, yeah.
You have a little cup just with your name on it.
Stefano.
You know, I still say the same thought, like I said in the podcast. You know, your wedding, if you're going as a guest, you put what you feel,
Yeah.
and you don't have to. You don't have to cover what they
the extra,
They tell you.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
like. You know, if they want filet mignon and it costs $400, you know, when you go to a restaurant, I don't have to pay for someone else's
Yeah.
palate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put what's reasonable, what you
What
feel
makes-
is reasonable,
What's reasonable
and
price.
what you would be happy with if you got
if
that.
you got it, yeah.
Well, yeah.
You know, and then the rest is they choose
I
what they
agree.
want.
Yeah, it makes
You
sense.
know,
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Yeah.
awesome, guys. This is a lot of fun
It is.
in our new studio.
Yes, very
Some
exciting.
of us are more comfortable than others. Some of us need a pillow and a blanket, but
blanket.
that's
I got a comfortable
Watching the
chair.
game, that's all
I
you
still
can
miss
say.
Em though. We miss our artist here.
I
We miss
do.
Em.
He's a good
Yes.
guy. He's a good
Yes.
guy and great art.
Yes.
100%.
Guys, Emerge.3, if ever you want,
Ever.
look him up. He's great.
He's emerged.
Yeah. Awesome.
Alrighty. We'll see you guys again. Oh my God. I thought it was like, that was really weird. We'll see you people on the next round
Yes.
Yes.
of podcast,
Next
Yep.
wedding
of weddings.
With another fantabulous podcast and topic, and that you can watch on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify.
Spotify,
You can hear our
Facebook.
updates. Instagram, Facebook,
Let's-
blah, 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 blah,
If
blah.
you can spell fantabulous,
You like
I
that,
will
eh?
be highly impressed.
It's not that hard. Fantabulous. Come on, you know that.
Of course, I know that.
Okay.
I'm a linguist.
What is it?
Alrighty. On that note, we're all going to retire and see you guys or women.
Yes. Next
Children.
podcast.
Without you are allowed on this podcast as well to watch it. He's gonna shut me off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.